Hey guys, what's up? Good morning to you all. It's actually almost midnight for me recording this because my life is pretty hectic right now, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, when you guys wake up and you guys get this, sorry that I wasn't able to do one last week. Once again, life's been pretty crazy for me. I'll try to be more consistent with these as I can be. With that being said, we are going to be finishing up the Daniel 2 statue vision dream today. And then hopefully next week I'll have something figured out to go into next time. I hope that these have been a blessing to you guys for as short of it as it is, but as much info as there can be for this kind of stuff. And hopefully these short kind of one-sided conversations that you've been watching and following me along with, hopefully it kind of, I don't know, it ignites your guys' own passion and curiosity to go study this stuff for yourself, because it actually really is very interesting and very cool and just mind-blowing. The more you open your Bible, the more you read it, the more you find these Old Testament prophecies that link to the future, that link to the book of Revelation for that matter. We're still currently going through the book of Revelation for our youth group, and it's just, the more I read that book, the more I study it, the more it leads me back into the Old Testament and the New Testament for that matter. It's a fun book full of just tons of different studies that it leads you through. All right, anyways, so back in Daniel 2, we are going to be talking about the last kingdoms, but more specifically what happens at the end of it. So in verse 36 of Daniel chapter 2, it says, this is reading from the CBS translation for any of you that want to kind of follow along. "This was the dream. Now we will tell the king its interpretation. Your Majesty, you are King of Kings. The God of the heavens has given you sovereignty, power, strength, and glory. Where every people live, or wild animals, or birds of the sky, he has handed them over to you and made you ruler over them all. You are the head of gold." We talked about that, we covered that. "After you, there will arise another kingdom inferior to yours, and then a third kingdom of bronze, which will rule the whole earth. A fourth kingdom will be as strong as iron, for iron crushes and shatters everything. And like iron that smashes, it will crush and smash all the others." All right, so we've done this order of kingdoms, right? Babylon, Medo-Persian Empire, Greece. Now this one, once again, if you go look into your history books outside of the Bible, because they connect, you'll find that this kingdom of iron that's very represented by this brutal strength of iron is the Roman Empire, right? They come in, they take over Greece, and the Roman Empire kind of sets the stage for a lot of the majority of the New Testament, for Jesus, for all the apostles afterwards, all the letters, the early church. And so this iron is the Roman Empire, all right? But then after that, verse 41, it says, "You saw the feet and toes, partly of potter's fired clay and partly of iron. It will be a divided kingdom, though some of the strength of iron will be in it. You saw the iron mixed with clay, and that the toes of the feet were partly iron and partly fired clay. Part of the kingdom will be strong, and part of it will be brittle. You saw the iron mixed with clay. The peoples will mix with one another, but will not hold together, just as iron does not mix with fired clay." So in the history of the Roman Empire, right, you can date back all these other empires to specific dates as to when they ended. You can find when Babylon specifically ended, when Persia ended, when Greece ended. The Roman Empire is very different in that there's no clear set date as to when the Roman Empire actually 100% ended and fully dissolved. It took many years for the Roman Empire to finally fade away to where it kind of is this weird sort of there, sort of not there organization, I guess I'll use that word, that still kind of remains today, and it just slowly weakened over time and all that. But remember, there's a criteria to this, right? These empires had to be in descending order as far as governments go. They had to take over and rule the region of Babylon, but they also had to have control over Jerusalem. Now, there's some interesting things on this that I'll share with you guys, and I'll leave with you guys to discuss, research, and figure out for your own. But it's an interesting thought where, remember that this criteria, but then you have the Iron Kingdom. After the Iron Kingdom, there's this mixture of iron and clay that's kind of being mixed back and forth, as if it's constantly changing with these 10 toes. And so there's this thought out there that after the Roman Empire faded away, you enter into this timeline, this stage in history where governments are constantly rotating and changing that have aspects of the Roman Empire and the strength of the Roman Empire, and control and debates over the land of Jerusalem and the area of Babylon is constantly changing governing power, right? And so that's the thought here, is that after the Roman Empire, you enter into the stage of history where it's just constantly being churned up and changed, and there's one day it's this government that has control over Jerusalem, and then another day it's this one, and just back and forth, and they're fighting over it. And you can kind of see that today. But once again, I will leave that to you guys to research on your own, come to your own conclusions on that. But the main part is what comes next. All right, in verse 44, it says, "In the days of those kings, the God of the heavens will set up a kingdom that will never be destroyed, and this kingdom will not be left to another people. It will crush all these kingdoms and bring them to an end, but will itself endure forever. You saw a stone break off from the mountain without a hand touching it, and it crushed the iron, bronze, fired clay, silver, and gold. The great God has told the king what will happen in the future. This dream is certain, and its interpretation is reliable." So at the end of all of this, there's this untouched, pure, uncut stone that comes and crashes and just obliterates this statue as if it had never existed in the first place. And we all know that to be the future coming kingdom of Christ. And once again, you can, there's a bunch of other Old Testament prophets and New Testament writings that point to this, and it's something that all Christians should be looking forward to, right? There's a bunch of debate on this, but the Bible is clear, guys. Jesus will be coming back, and he will be coming back to reign and to rule and to do away with the things of this world. So the application here, one, research the Bible, right? Research the Old Testament. Go find these prophecies and actually research them out, find them out, figure out what they mean as far as pointing to the future, because there's a lot of Old Testament stuff, guys, that wasn't meant to be understood until the latter days, until the end time days, which is what, we may or may not be in. But there's a lot more secrets of the Bible that are being revealed in modern times, which point to, every day, once again, Jesus is coming. He'll come like a thief in the night, but it's every day we are closer to that event whenever that happens. Anyways, so the application one, challenge, go search this stuff out, research it for yourself, because you need to know what you believe and why you believe it, right? Secondly, as a Christian, we should all have the firm hope and firm expectation that Christ is coming back, and that he is coming back soon according to God's timing, right? Hopefully it's sooner than whatever it might actually be, who knows? But he is coming back, and he is coming back to rule and to do away with the things of this world. So that'll conclude this little miniature Daniel chapter 2 Devo study that we've been doing. Next week I might dive into a couple of other things that I didn't have time to mention or time to dive into. Anyways, I hope that this has been a blessing to you guys. I hope that all of the other Devos from all the other pastors blesses you, and that this is just a way for us to connect to you guys during the week while COVID is still happening. And this is just a way for us as Redemption Hill pastors and Redemption Hill leadership to connect with you guys, the congregation, whether you come to church on Sunday mornings and we see you face to face, which is great, or you're one of our many online viewers, and this is another way that we get to connect with you. So yeah, I once again hope that this blesses you guys. Good morning for those of you that wake up to this, and hope to see you guys on Sunday.